actually have you highlight on this point, what is the benefit to payers working directly with you and using your platform?
Okay, so yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. So for the first time in the history, when you go back and you dig into, insurance was basically started in Egypt. And it was actually started by the workers that were building these giant projects. And they ended up creating this thing called a jar system, where they had to start putting money in the jar. And it was like this collective risk pooling. And that's kind of the initial history of it. Since that point in time, insurance really hasn't innovated. I mean, it's remarkable to say that, but when you dig into the workflows of the average insurer, what you realize is they're not learning organizations. They're siloed. So the claims data that comes in doesn't have a direct feedback loop to make the system more efficient. Most of the really interesting claims data is stored in a PDF that can't even be retrieved. So with DocDoc now, you have a mechanism that empowers the insurance agent in their interactions with their policyholders. Hey, we have this great service. When you need to seek care, click on the button. You're going to immediately talk to a doctor. They're going to help you. You can go anywhere you want. They're not trying to tell you where to go. They're trying to give the data that you need to make an informed decision. That's what the agent is saying to boost engagement with the insurer. Take it to the next step. Now, once that patient comes in and talks to DocDoc, we now steer medical intent. We give them the data they need to make informed decisions, but we steer it. So they're now going to high quality average cost doctors for their unique needs, having a great experience all along. Now all that data comes in claims. Now we're processing that claim. And all that data is being stored in a machine readable way. And that's feeding back into our steering algorithms. So for the first time in the history of insurance, we've created a closed data loop so that there's feedback loops so that every claim that's processed, the entire machine gets more efficient. And the insurers now have a very, they have a clear reason to deliver value to their policyholders. See, the insurers they're in a tight bind because they haven't built brands that delight policyholders. And that has to change. And they haven't built the back-end data architecture that would allow them to actually become more efficient with every claim processed. If you compare that to the way Amazon runs, every time a transaction happens in Amazon, that entire machine gets incrementally better because it's all measured, it's all fed into into a business intelligence system, and they're identifying just on the smallest margin how they can make that logistics a little better, how they can get that price a little cheaper, how they can make that experience, how they can learn about what my intentions were. That can only happen if all the data is stored in an integrated closed data loop. And we're the first company in the world to do that in healthcare.